Hey, good morning from Lower Alabama. I'm on my way home from an Ironman Outdoors work weekend that we had in Camden, Alabama this weekend. We got a new piece of property that we've done a couple of retreats there in the past, but this year we are actually leasing that property, and we'll be able to do more retreats. So I was able to take 7 guys this weekend from North Carolina, South Carolina, Alabama, and Mississippi, and we had 2 tractors with us, a bunch of chainsaws, and we were able to tame the jungle that is the property right now, because all the paths are grown up. There was gigantic trees laid across the paths that we had to move out of the way. So we got everything cleared so we have access around the property, and we bush hogged the food plots, which was, we got one food plot that's like 3.3 acres. So there's a good bit of bush hogging. Half of Wilcox County seems like what we bush hogged this weekend. And we were able to put lime out on the food plots too. I had actually taken a soil sample, gosh, almost a year ago. And so I know my my pH is about, I think it was like 5.6, and we're trying to get it up to about 6.4. So we had to add some lime to the food plots. I was not able to rent a buggy with lime because there just wasn't one anywhere close to where the property is. So we had to put bags of pelletized lime. We put 75 bags out with a Whirlybird spreader on the back of the tractor. We had a couple of our guys, a couple of our volunteers, they took some of that donated zip board, that like plywood that we recently had donated to the ministry, and they built 2 very nice shooting houses, and they actually built them down in the woods. We took a generator with us and a chop saw and skill saw and all that sort of stuff to build and paint those shooting houses, and then we picked them up with the tractors and moved them to the food plots where we wanted them to be. All in all, it was a great weekend. We have a lot of fun on these weekends. It was hot. Okay, it's early July in Lower Alabama, and the heat index was like 105. It was really hot and really humid, but these guys, when you're working for God, and when you're working for things that, you know, you're not trying to build up your kingdom, you're trying to build up God's kingdom, good things happen, and that's a fun thing to be a part of. Many of these guys will never hunt that property. They'll never sit in those shooting houses. They may lead a retreat there, but seriously, most of those guys will never hunt there. But we're doing it because we want to create an atmosphere where guys can come on a retreat and enjoy. Hopefully they kill something. Hopefully they see big deer, big hogs, that kind of thing, because the property's got a lot of both. But what we really want them to do is we want to come for the manhood discussions, and that's where we talk about what it means to be a godly husband. Marriages could be changed because of these retreats. I know, we've seen it in the last 15 years. We've seen a lot of that. We've seen guys who maybe they're not an atheist per se. They believe that God exists, but they don't really have a relationship with God. And so you come on one of these weekend retreats, and we have these manhood discussions, and you start thinking about it. Gosh, you know, I need some of that in my life. And so that's really cool, and that's why we do these retreats. That's why we have these work weekends. You know, a lot goes into this before a guy comes and actually sits in a stand to hunt on a retreat. A ton of work goes into it. Honestly, I had plans of shooting a lot of video this weekend. It was so stinking hot, and we were just drenched with sweat. I just didn't feel like getting the camera out and sticking it in somebody's face when it was so incredibly hot. So I'm going to show you some pictures from the work weekend. Even got some aerial pictures, aerial video of us bush hogging some of the food plots. So I hope you enjoy this, and check us out at ironmanoutdoors.org.